Hello, and welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Filter and dumped all the transmission fluid out.
Right.
And then replaced the filter. And that was the only thing that made that hard was you have to take all the plastic shit off the bottom to get to the filter because it's right behind the
tranny.
No, it's right in front of the in front of the motor, but like right behind the radiator.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the lines come right into the front with a little like two nipple fucking thing.
Oh yeah, I know about two nipples.
Yeah.
Fucking Tokyo.
But that was the hardest part, was getting to the damn oil or the transmission filter.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't get anything up in there to like unbolt it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it has
I believe.
And then it has those clamps on it that are like the squeezy kind that you have to squeeze and and then you have to move them.
Right.
I couldn't get tools on those. I couldn't get tools on the part that hold the filter in place. So I was like, fuck.
There's a special
that wasn't
thing, isn't there? There has to be.
There probably is. I was just using
needle nose pliers or something. Vice grips.
No, regular.
Was it a prison?
Regular pliers worked for me.
Oh, okay.
That was the only thing that worked good, was the regular pliers. Although I did have some channel locks that might have worked.
The pinch ones I left on the two input outputs.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I replaced it with those ones that don't.
You just cut the damn hose off. Has that got hose on there?
No, it's electric tape to close off so it didn't spill everywhere.
Okay. I'm like, damn, you just fucking said snip the hose, motherfuckers.
When I looked at it real quick, I went, fuck, did I really do I don't remember cutting the hose. But then I realized I electric taped it so it didn't spill as I moved it around when I didn't pump it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, you're talking about the torque converter in the CRV. I briefly looked up, replacing the torque converter and I went, we would probably need, congratulations on changing your your coolant. Good job on that one. But this one, hey.
That's like doing a clutch.
No, that looked way more intense. Well, yes, in the CRV it probably is.
Yeah.
But relative to the last time I had, it's been probably 20 years, where the last time I actually had an engine dropped out of something and was staring at the guts of the transmission. And even then it was a V8. So it was vanilla, generic. I don't think I've dropped an engine and a transmission of a four-cylinder front-wheel drive vehicle.
Oh, I have.
It is, and so he's like, yeah, so I'll come back and then we'll look at how far we've gotten. He's got like a time lapse that had like 3 hours fucking missing from it, and then he picks up his like thing and he's doing like his vlogs. He's like, okay, so here's where we're at, and he like pans up and shows the engine bay. Fucking radiator's gone. There's like a whole. He's like, and then we had to remove an engine mount so we could tilt it a little bit so we could get the CV out. And I went, okay,
yeah,
little bit more than
axle's got to come out. I'm sure there's a mount probably on the transmission itself.
Yeah.
Wiring.
Yeah.
You're fighting around exhaust.
Yeah, it did not look.
You got to unbolt it from the motor.
It didn't even look Civic-ish. I'm staring at it going, that's way more disassembly to get at it than I would have thought given Honda.
Yeah. It was on a CRV?
Yeah. Because he was describing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
He's like, so we're going to replace the torque converter. And I went, oh, fuck, here we go. Click.
I'll have to look it up.
Click. And I went, oh. It didn't have, it
you
looked
went like this. Jim's fucked.
And I went, oh. It's just that it would probably be like dedicated 3+ guys and all weekend. You need to book the weekend and it's dedicated. Could we do it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have between
Oh, yeah.
the four of us.
Right.
Could we get it? Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I have done a clutch job and a 5-speed transmission rebuild on a 91 Civic. Not the same car.
Not the same car.
But I have done this before. My little brother rebuilt a transmission out of 2 good ones and made 1 good one out of the 2.
Right.
And then we also replaced the clutch while we were in there. And so we had the transmission. It was in my parents' garage, up on jacks.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle. And if my little brother is really mechanically, he knows what the hell he's doing somehow. I don't know. He doesn't have any training or anything that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But he's really good at it. And he was just like, yeah, we'll do it kind of thing. And I was just following his lead, but it's not impossible.
Right.
But it's going to be a challenge.
Right. And then it would, then it's like, it's your wife's daily.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And
know.
hey, if you stuck through this really hot automotive open, welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast.
I'm Jim.
I'm the Lord Foo.
And apparently I've got torque converter issues or something. I assume.
Yeah. And this led from last week. We had Dave here, and we both got curb stomped.
I think I might be missing teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curb stomped with the realization that, at least in Hondas, all that we're aware of,
yeah,
and Dave's aware of, that oil filters don't necessarily need to be changed every time you do an oil change.
Right.
Curb stomped.
Probably depends on what motor or
right,
and that kind of stuff.
And I know you probably took the
brunt of it.
The brunt of it because you actually currently own a Honda.
Yeah.
I of course didn't, but we were both like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Because that's all we know.
Shannon and I were talking about it, and I said, what's weird is I don't think if you took your car to an oil change place and it said service A or service B and you said, I want an oil change, that they would even fucking look at that and they would just do a oil and filter.
Right. Well,
they wouldn't.
I wonder if a dealer might.
The dealer probably would.
Because Honda knows best, right?
Well, because that's the thing, though,
but
too.
A third party trying to sell you products probably would sell you the filter and do it.
Well, the way I kind of looked at it is you look it up in the manual. Yeah, it says an A service is just literally the oil. So you can just dump the oil out, put the plug back in, and refill it with oil and not change the filter. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
A B service is an oil and filter change plus a bunch of other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way, if you are someone who takes your car to the dealer and has them looking after your car for you, essentially.
Yeah.
It's a way for them to look at the brakes. It's like you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you need a beef service? Okay, well, I'm going to write you up for that, which is going to be more than a regular oil change. And it's kind of like, well, you know.
Yeah.
But no one, if you call around and say, I've got a Honda CR-V and I just need an oil change, no one's going to be like, is it an A service or a B service?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But here's the positive for me. One, he right hooked us.
Yeah.
But it was good because there was honestly, I've been changing oil since before I was driving, helping Dad. And it was always, I'm doing both.
Right.
I had not really, and I love my cars, but I had not really ever paid attention to, well, shit, is that an actual thing? So after the show,
well, who consults their manual before they do an oil change? You just do oil and filter. That's just how.
Well,
it is.
we do, obviously, but Dave does not. Dave consults the actual directions and manuals for the things in which he purchases.
I wish he was here because I would ask him, how did you find out?
Right. Did when he bought the Ridgeline, did he just go straight to the manual when his first thing?
Did he read
after
that
break-in?
thing cover to cover and including the German parts? You know what I mean? Did he read the whole user guide and be like, oh,
Yeah.
A/B service.
And it's funny too because I, purchasing the Miata, I actually read the manual because I, like, the things I didn't know. I read the manual.
Right.
I glossed over like the schedule stuff when I read it because it was just like oil change. Okay, yeah. Where was I at? The car currently has 47,000 miles. Oh, okay. These things are coming up. And I flipped through it, went to the next thing. Oh, traction control. And I flipped through it. But after the show, I was like,
now I got to know.
Now I got to know. I think it was the next day or maybe Saturday where I think I was outside. You sent something, and I went, fuck, that's right. I totally forgot about it. I picked up the manual for the Miata, and I'm looking through the maintenance schedules, and sure shit on the Miata, it has you doing filter and oil at every iteration.
Right.
I went, okay, now I know.
I'm not crazy.
But then in the blistering heat, I went out to the Ghost, the RS, and I pulled its manual out. Flip. It has you do filter and oil on each one. So, relative to Dave, had I actually read my manual, I probably could have went, yes, but sir.
All of my vehicles
have you do. But I didn't know. And so here's the thing. As someone that has done car maintenance to some capacity, we were running on idle without, like, old dogs, no new tricks. But yet as someone that relatively single income household, if there was a reason for me to actually be watching what I'm purchasing, having paid attention to, is an oil filter $50? Absolutely not. But if I was trying to be smart with my money, I should have been smart with paying attention to something as trivial as, well, I don't have to, and actually I could probably get more miles than I think I need to out of the oil that I have. Do I have to? No. But I should have been paying attention because the thing that I grew up learning and knowing, oh yeah, you do both at the same time. It's just a happenstance. Well, fucking turns out, if I'd owned a Honda, I probably would have, over the course of the lifetime of owning it, probably just been throwing money away. That didn't necessarily, again, relatively speaking, it's chump change. But it was, in hindsight, it was good to have someone come on here and cross-check us with, like,
something we didn't know.
Something that I just took as commonplace.
Took for granted, yeah.
I thought, what? What do you mean? What?
Right.
Yeah. Check your manuals. It hurt me nothing.
Right.
To do that and learn something. Now, again, I read the Mazda manual and I glossed over it because I wasn't paying attention because I just took it for granted. So if you're going to put some time, I recommend you read your manual. Look through it. Some of it will be way above your pay grade if you're just like a lay person and you just use it to get to work and normally you take it someplace to get shit done. That's fine. But tire pressures and what kind of tires you have and all that things, even for someone who fashions himself as a car guy, I did not know for certain that I probably could or should have been doing something different.
So speaking of that, I'm just curious because at this point, Honda/Acura, I would imagine, because they share so many bits and pieces, being essentially the same company. They're the only company I'm aware of that does this.
Really?
Well, I just looked up Toyota Corolla, which is a very common car.
Yeah.
Oil and filter.
Each time.
Yeah. So, like, I want to know, besides Honda/Acura, what other
car manufacturers skip a cycle?
Yeah.
I didn't look that one up.
Because
I love Dave and I would like him back.
Well, no, I would like to know this because it's the first time I'd ever heard of that.
Right.
And I think I have looked at the I have looked at the oil stuff for Hondas for sure because I've had Hondas over the years. And it's weird to me because when you read in the thing, and I think it was a screenshot I sent you, it says on a Schedule A, oil change only, or it says oil change.
Okay.
The Schedule B says oil and filter. But when I read oil change, that in my brain says both. Right? I mean, an oil change to me is not just draining the oil and replacing it. It's oil and filter. And I just don't understand. It's just like, why is Honda like the only company that is doing that? Are they
engineering?
I mean, they're obviously, I think, probably over the course of years, or maybe with the advent of more modern motors, analyzing oil, right, and figuring out they don't really need to change the filter. Probably the filter doesn't get used that much, right? Because in theory, you shouldn't be having that much contaminant in your oil anyway,
right?
So I don't know. Maybe it's just like one of those things where other manufacturers haven't really researched it that much, so they just always recommend an oil and a filter change. Where Honda's like, hey, look, motherfuckers.
All of our cars have turbos on them anyway, so you're going to be burning through oil so fast that you're going to have to put new oil in. You're going to be fine.
Oh my gosh, that was the Civic, the gray Civic.
Just burning through oil.
That thing burned oil like crazy. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But anyway, I just thought that was fascinating, and I haven't found thus so far. Well, we've looked at Fords, Mazdas, Cadillac, Toyota, Subaru. They've all recommended an oil and a filter change. So who else? Skoda?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Renault?
Vauxhall? I don't know. Like who else is Volvo? Are they recommending you skip one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. It was I took that as a really good take. It was I can't remember the last time we did the Donner Party thing.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to circle back and make sure we cover, because I thought it was important that it was something that I just took as what?
Yeah.
And the lesson for me was read the shit.
Yeah.
It hurts you nothing, and you're gonna the certainty, if you have to be watching where your pennies go, it's better than not.
I mean, I think I tend to lean more towards on the research side of it. Like, I'm not thinking about that. Like, I'm thinking about making sure I have the proper oil.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Right.
That's the stuff. Okay. It's like, okay, I need to do an oil change on that. What filter do I need? What's a good filter? And what oil should I be buying? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the kind of stuff that I'm, like I did a transmission fluid swap on the CR-V over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what transmission fluid should I be using? I ended up buying the Honda stuff, HF or something, whatever it's called, to put it back in it. But it was one of those things like, I don't want to make this worse than it is.
Right.
Let's do a little research, and then I found that somebody sells a kit with the oil and the gasket and that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, perfect. I'll just order that.
Money.
Yeah.
So
those are when I'm worried about fluid changes and things those are the things that I'm getting anal about, not necessarily the filter interval.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of weird.
Well, I think it's too. It kind of goes under the bridge when you realize the monetary value of the filter.
Yeah.
It's like, if it was something that was $30 to $50, it would probably be like, oh, okay. So now that I've got, at least in my car, an OEM case of oil is not cheap.
Right.
So knowing that I'm having to fork over pennies for the OEM fluid that's recommended for the car, it's like, oh, well, this is trivial. I'll buy an OEM filter. Again, trust the manufacturer. So, but if it was something where I had to worry about forums say that the OEM filter is fucking ass and you should be using premium, I'd be like, fuck, okay, well, I'm gonna have to do some digging to make sure stuff and things.
I mean, speaking of that, Dave mentioned the Bob is the Oil Guy website. Bob is the Oil Guy.
Yeah.
If you visit that website, be prepared.
Oh,
it's a deep dive into
it is
oil like you could not imagine.
It is behind the curtains, super gore, data. It is the nakedness of just science shit of oil. If you are someone that likes that kind of, I'm like probably looking side eye at Will, but Will's got a fucking Tesla, so he probably doesn't care.
No.
But if you wanted to like the deep dive gore of motor oil, that site is fucking porn.
And I thought one of the fascinating things on that website was if you go to the forums.
I didn't get that far.
Oh my gosh. And there's just like someone just, I think kind of innocently is like, I've got this car. Oh. And what kind of oil should I get? And it's just the number, the replies to that are just like, oh shit, like don't ask that fucking question.
Oh boy. Vultures?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, kind of like, well, I'll read. I don't think I'll do any posting here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's if you don't want to get drugged.
If you don't have a PhD.
If you don't want to get drugged.
Don't post.
Don't ask those kind of questions.
Well, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
A bunch of rabid lions and a limping gazelle shows up on the prairie, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, should I use AMSOIL or should I use Redline or whatever it is? And it's like, you fucking idiot. And you're just like, damn, bro, it's just fucking engine oil.
Why don't you go buy a fucking bicycle?
Kinda.
And fall on the handlebars. What?
Dude, I was just like, oh shit. Like,
well, what kind of oil would I use for my chain? Use your neck and your blood. Just choke yourself in it. But then how would I get anywhere? You shouldn't. Just dig yourself a hole and fall in it.
Don't ever leave it.
And don't ever get out. Come here.
Dude, it was like, I was like, what kind of oil should this guy use? And then it was just like, oh, fuck. I don't think I want to know the answer now.
Holy God. Shan, get a bucket and a mop. Someone's dead on the internet.
I felt like you should just go get one of those cans that has the little pressy things on the bottom. It goes, and just pump your fucking car full of that shit.
Hey, I got on sale at Costco. I got like avocado oil. Can I use that in my car? Oh, fuck.
Is it 5W20?
Yeah. What's the viscosity of avocado oil? It's the extra virgin kind. Holy shit.
Oh, God. Don't go to the forum.
Yeah, don't go there. That's not your. Those aren't your people, man.
No.
Do you own a fire hazmat suit? If no, don't come here with your basic ass oil questions.
Yeah, it was kind of rough. I felt bad for that guy. I mean, there were a couple that were like, there were, they're not all like that, but there were a few, and it was just like, fuck. I'm not asking what kind of oil to put in the CRV.
Fuck.
I'll just go get fucking anything at Walmart. I don't even fucking care. I mean, I kind of feel like at a certain point, all of those oils are probably about the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're probably made by the same fucking company. I have no idea.
Soylent Green.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy SuperTech. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But I'll,
Valvo style. Like what?
Wait. You got me.
Yeah, this Walmart rerun. What's this?
How about, can I just fill up my car with Vaseline?
Yeah. Almost synthetic pseudoness.
It kind of solidifies when it gets cool.
Yeah. It coagulates.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. So anyway, that was fascinating.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did all that on the CRV, and it's got the
still does its thing.
Yeah. I have to ask Shan. She just drives it around town, like to work and back.
Yeah.
For the most part, and like if we go anywhere, we take my car.
Right.
So it's like I was like, how's your car driving? And she's like, I don't know, because I just drive to the work and back, and it's like.
That's where Melly gets it. Does it make any sounds? Yeah. What's it sound like? I just drive it to work.
Yeah.
God damn it, wife.
Well, I noticed right away that it definitely smoother shifting.
Okay.
Quicker. A little quicker on the shifts. But when I got on it around 55, I had that shake still.
Yeah.
So it's probably the goddamn torque converter. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Just drive it till it explodes.
Then
Yeah.
for certain.
Oh.
Well, you may get a little bit more longevity, and you can only hope that,
Yeah.
When it decides to take its shit that you're driving or Shan's in a safe place or whoever's driving it, that it's not going to.
I mean, if it's going to be a thing that I got to take to a shop and have somebody do, it's going to cost probably $1,300 or something,
Did you look it up?
No, but I mean, that's about what a clutch would cost.
Yeah.
So I figured that's probably what it's going to cost me.
Piper has a friend who bought like a third party, not from a dealer used car thing, like just from a normal person, like Facebook Marketplace kind of thing. A mid 2000s, maybe early teens, Jeep, like the whole like lifted and whatnot. And this goes back probably months now. She was at a gas station getting gas, and the hose, a fuel line or something, must have popped off or was cracked, and so she's leaking gas in the stall,
filling it.
Yeah,
leaking.
She comes out from the store to grab whatever refreshment that she had, and guys like waving at her like, "Your car, it's leaking gas."
Hit the red button, goddammit.
Yeah, and then Piper's like, and she also has this other thing where, because I think she went buying somewhere in the area, it might have been Forest Hill, and I don't know if it happened then, but at some point in time, since she's owned it, something has gone sideways electronically or mechanically where she doesn't get above 55.
Yikes.
So she had, in Piper telling me about this gas thing, she's like, oh, yeah, and she doesn't go on the freeway because she can't go above 55. And I went, what?
Is it automatic?
Yes. And I went, wait, why? And she's like, like typical Melly, like, I'm confronted with like a problem, and all I want is information and data, and I don't know. And
she just can't.
It doesn't. And so she just doesn't drive on the freeway. And I went, what? And nothing in my mind could make that like. But she ended up having to take it to a shop, as I was told, because obviously leaking gas is a significant problem.
Really?
Right. And at the time, so this is like a month plus back. The gas line, I was told was fixed. Took it to the shop. Yeah, it got fixed. Just last week, the same young lady, she got a job over at Bass Pro Shops. And so the conversation was that she has to drive through Rockland. So she lives over down closer towards 50 minutes. So further southwest of me. So she has to drive urban route
to get to Bass Pro Shops.
Because she can't get on 65 and 80 because she can't go over 55. And wait, I thought they fixed that. And she's like,
no, just the gas leak.
Piper said no, and I think she said it still leaks gas. And I went, where the fuck does she take this thing?
Oh my god.
And so then, again, I'm confronted with, I need more data. Like, this is a significant thing. Like, one.
Tell her to bring it over.
I thought you said I
want to look at this thing.
She took it to a shop. It's fixed, but it
still leaks.
Still leaks gas.
Like, it's not fixed.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Gas isn't cheap. One, and Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
She's a fucking Molotov.
Damn.
So I said, listen, is it possible that they took it to a shop, they got something band-aided relative to the fuel line, but the other stuff wasn't fixed because the quote would have been
Too much.
too much.
Yeah.
And they're a single income home as well. That was my understanding. They live within their means and they have to live frugal because of it.
Right.
Totally get that. Spent the bulk of my adult and young life in that exact same type of household. So I get it. So I told her, I said, listen, here are some questions. And I get the embarrassment too. It's like, when you're struggling with
I don't know,
finances.
it's just broken.
Right. There's, you don't want to. I said, so I'm going to write down some questions. I said, if it's something that was more about labor cost than it was parts, we'll do this.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason she needs to be driving around, one, with would maybe still be a busted fuel line, two, something that can be fixed here in the driveway or the garage, and if it's something that's relatively affordable, we'll work that out later. She needs to have a working vehicle so that she's not in danger to herself, her passengers, or anybody else on the road, especially if it's something that we can actually handle here. And she's like, okay. Wrote down a list of stuff, like questions to ask. I'm like, ask her. And if she's candid enough to answer, we'll make it happen, because why not? Like, it's okay. We'll
So,
shit.
any questions back yet?
I
or answers?
haven't got any answers because Piper's been dog watching. So.
Oh. Well, now I'm curious.
I am too.
I'm trying to figure out what would prevent your car from going over 55.
Like, the couple easy ones would be, apparently in Jeeps, there's a throttle position sensor.
Oh.
Could get jammed. It could be torque converter. And then it gets slightly, but another one is just a dirty or malfunctioning throttle position sensor.
Right.
So could be
throttle body cleaning.
Yeah, it could be easily fixed with under $100.
Yeah.
And an hour's time.
Yeah.
And Bob's your uncle. Game over. Or we could at least me understanding, perhaps it's something, even if it's a little bit more expensive, we can work around just to get her a working vehicle. She's working. She has a job. So,
she has to be able to
she
get
has
there.
to be able to get to work.
Yeah.
This is her daily. So if the thing that's currently preventing her from getting to 55 or over becomes a more broken problem, well, now she can't get to work to solve any other problems.
Right.
So, fuck.
Sometimes it's simple shit.
It could be.
There's a YouTube channel I watch called South Main Auto. It's some dude in New York has his channel. It's South Main Auto Repair, and it's a garage. And this dude had brought in. He was doing his own brakes, and he couldn't. He was trying to change the rotors out and couldn't get the rotors off.
Right.
So he brought it into the shop sheepishly to have this guy fix the rotor problem.
Okay.
He pulls off the wheel, and the screw that holds on the rotor was still in the thing, and there were visible hammer wax all over the disc from him trying to beat it off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the guy goes, I think he just didn't take out the screw, and he just, and it comes right out, and the thing came right off.
Oh.
So he didn't realize there was a set screw holding the rotor to the hub.
Oh, boy.
So, sometimes it's something simple.
Yeah, I did
throttle body cleaning's a big deal too,
So I purchased, I haven't done it in the RS because the RS is stainless steel brake lines in the RS is like a $200 thing. So I've skipped it. Plus the RS is magic.
As it is.
As it is. It's fucking anyway. So it's perfect. But I got stainless steel brake lines. One, the car is pressing a decade. So when I did them in the Eclipse and Grimlock, it was a noticeably firmer brake feel.
Yeah.
Plus, I just preferred knowing that there were stainless steel brake lines in between the hard line and it just made me feel more confident, especially the way I drove the shit out of Grimlock.
Right.
So hard on brakes made me more confident. Car that I'm letting the kids drive and me potentially drive a little bit harder in the in-between space. 10-year-old car, stainless steel brake lines. So I'm looking at, I had taken it apart Father's Day. Hey, happy Father's Day to post-Father's Day to people who are listening. Father's Day, I'm like, fuck it. You know what? I'm jacking the car up, and I'll start looking at that. So I get the wheels off, I get the car jacked up, and I'm looking at the flare nuts for the hard line that goes and then transitions to the rubber line that goes to the actual caliper. And I've got a pair of vice grips on the flare nut, and I am struggling because it's brass. So I am starting to get to the point where it's feeling like the brass is getting soft on me.
Gonna give up.
And I unclamped the vice grips and I went, what? I feel like I'm doing this fucking wrong. And so I went and I got a 10 millimeter open wrench and I put it on the brass fitting and I start, and the brass is giving way. It's getting soft again. And I went, why am I? This wasn't as hard on the Eclipse or Grimlock. Like the nut just popped. So I got some penetrating oil, gave it a zap, and I could feel that it was just starting to get soft on the edges. Like I was starting to round the edges. And I went, I'm fucking up. I'm doing this wrong.
Right.
Like why? What? I'm missing something. And it wasn't until I just walked away, went in the house, and I'm like, what? Brake lines, like, apply heat, something. Open-ended flare nut wrench. And I went, fuck, that's what it was. So a flare nut wrench is closed on, it looks like a normal open.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it's closed on all but one side. So you slip it over the hard line and down across the nut. Because it's brass and soft, you want full connection on all the sides. And I came back here to look through my tool chest. I did not have that.
Yeah.
Because I think in the previous cars that I'd all done this to, vice grips and I just popped it off and it was fine.
Yeah.
No stripping and it was fine. But I did not own a $12 set of flare nut wrenches.
Right.
Next day, Monday, flare nut over the nut. Bink! Pops right off because it has full purchase on all the sides.
And you're not rounding shit.
And I'm not rounding shit over.
Yeah.
Did it delay a day? Yes. And young me probably would have like, oh, well, I just don't have this fucking vice grip hard enough. Turned the screw a little bit, pinched that fucker down and just been like straight up yeeting up and hated it.
Right.
Like, and I was fully prepped on Amazon in my cart. I'm like looking up brand new hard lines for brakes and a bender for brake lines. I'm like, if I fuck this up, I'm making my own brake lines again, which isn't also that expensive either.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, oh, fuck. Anyway, one day I'm going to do but under $15.
Yeah.
Flare nut wrench. So if you're ever looking at doing stainless steel brake lines or replacing something because the brake line has a blister on it and you need to make sure you have yourself a flare nut wrench set and everything will come off as it's intended.
So speaking of brakes, I came across a YouTube video of this dude. He decided he was going to upgrade the brake kit on his ATS with bigger Brembo brakes.
Okay.
And because the ones that are on there are they're tiny little guys. Not that it matters to me, but this guy for some reason thought he needed a bigger kit back there, whatever. So he goes and puts it on and he was like, I'm having trouble bleeding the brakes. Well, he'd put the bleeder on the bottom. So he had basically swapped the side. So he was now doing it 2 times.
Oh.
Because the bleeder, you can't get the air out if the bleeder's on the bottom.
Right. Because air.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
So just be glad.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go through
I
that
had,
shit.
Xander come out and help me bleed brakes. He's like, "What am I doing?" I'm like, well, "Son, today you gonna learn." It's like Father's Day. You come out here and fucking bleed brakes. Pump. Oh, okay. Because I said, and the car's up this way, and we go over here. Like, why are we doing this? Well, I don't know. It's like, because air gets in the lines. Now, I want you to feel what happens when we press the pedal, and I let this thing go. If there was air in here, and you did that, and you needed to brake, what would happen if you compressed and there wasn't fluid in there? Well, I wouldn't stop. Fucking A.
Deductive reasoning.
Gotcha. Nailed it. There was a whole bunch. Speaking of like bigger brake rotors, I picked up in stuff that I've been watching about the tracking like Miatas and whatnot. A lot of principles about braking that I hadn't really ever given thought to. It's like, pads aside, there's generally a whole bunch to be made up in brake performance with better pads. It's kind of like tires. Generally, really good pads generally is going to be like getting really good tires. More pistons and calipers, it starts to get in this space that I hadn't given thought to, and that is brake bias. So I'm just going to put bigger rotors on here and slotted and bigger calipers on wherever like on the fronts or something. And that's not necessarily a better answer to whatever your braking problem is.
Right.
Because if you've got your car, specifically when we're talking about autocross and tracking, if you were to put bigger brakes on the front end of your car, to overcompensate but not do anything about the rears, or you don't do it in the same ratio, what ends up happening is you start to create a bias where your front has so much grip on braking now that you fuck up the balance of the car.
Right.
So, and if you, I put bigger brakes in the back, but I didn't change the front, well, now your braking bias has changed to the back, and that upsets car a huge amount of dynamics that I hadn't really you just buy I don't really have money to do those, but I can do these, and I'll go big because fucking big rotors and big calipers. Well, congratulations. You're going to do a little bit of pedal stomp, and now where you would have a little bit of give before things locked up,
you're going to be having a trailer behind you pulling on the rear end of the
right.
car.
Now you're locking shit up when you actually want a little bit of slide before things lock. An amazing amount of science that I hadn't really given thought to. Now I'm like, fuck, okay.
The CRV, I'm talking about that car again. That car notoriously had underperforming brakes. And when I say that, I mean in the summertime, when the car had like 5 people in it, was like my wife and I and our 2 kids and like Ashley or whoever was in the car.
Right.
So 5 people in the car, and be driving in the summertime, the brakes would heat up so fast that when you would come up to a stoplight or something, you could hear them like kind of grinding. And once they cooled off, they were fine. And you would get pedal fade, like
right.
Oh shit! I don't
like too much.
Yeah. Oh damn! I need to need to lay off the brakes a little bit. And I was always really ginger in those cases. I went and bought. I didn't buy super expensive brake pads. I went to Napa and bought the Element 5 ceramic pads. Put those on there, front and back. That car brakes so much different than it did before. I mean, I'm not saying that it brakes different in the sense that like it's uncontrollable or anything like that. You get the same pedal feel and all that stuff, but when it gets hot, it does not fade. You don't hear grinding coming from the pads. It is a night and day difference between the pads that were OEM and I know it was the Honda pads because that's where I would go to Honda and buy the pads and replace them myself. But man, when I put those Element 5 pads on there, huge difference in the way they performed and like the way they handled the heat and stuff. Never had that problem again. What a difference. Definitely a worthwhile upgrade. If you're having problems with an OEM pad, maybe you do your own brakes and you buy the pad from your dealer and they're not performing that great, buy a better aftermarket pad.
Yeah.
Just try that.
Pads.
And they're not that expensive.
Yeah, pads I would put, especially if you're someone that can do your own brakes.
Yeah.
Or if you're someone that just drives a lot and you feel like you're not getting the mud. Brake pads, in my opinion, are in the same box as tires. Like, generally speaking, a premium priced brake pad, and do your research, there's plenty of science here to show. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But generally speaking, a lot of the premium priced brake pads, you will notice a premium performance difference in your pads.
And just
in your
moving
braking.
from a semi-metallic pad to a ceramic pad, I mean, that was a huge difference in the way the brakes behaved.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah.
So the last set of pads, again, Element 5s. It's like, why change to something else? I know these work great, So, yeah. I think I bought for the Cadillac a set of R1 Concepts pads for all four.
Mm-hmm.
And because I thought the pads were getting low, and I pulled the tire and the pads out and went, oh, I have at least half of the pads left. And I just put them back in and said, no, I'll put them on later.
Get them later.
Yeah, I got them now.
Yeah.
They
don't go bad.
No. Well, there's a...
Tune in August when Dave will tell us that brake pads have a shelf life, and you should always surface your rotors after every brake pad change.
No, you can skip.
You can skip.
Yeah. It depends on if it's service A or B. I don't even know. So I just have a question. Did you have a good Father's Day?
I did.
Yeah?
Like I said, I did car stuff, and kids made cards for me.
Yeah.
But I vegetated out. I think, you had your party here, and it's been... I did Mr. stuff.
Yeah.
Got Mr. set up. I got... Venus went out and schlepped out and got me coffee and Bad Baker's donuts, which she said was stacked. It was the biggest line she'd ever seen at Bad Baker's.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, dads like their donuts.
For sure.
Hey.
Yeah.
Relaxing, chill day.
It was hot. We went to like brunch.
Yeah.
And then we went to Dutch.
Yeah. Did you get a sticker? I saw Argonaut with the stickers, and I went, fuck, damn it.
Yeah, it's funny because we drove right by him.
Did you?
He was at the Rockland Quarry thing, and we drove right past there.
Oh, yeah.
We drove right by it. But so we went to Dutch, and then we went home, and I was like, put on my friggin' swimsuit, and I sat in we played like crazy in the pool. We got a whirlpool going. We had a blast. It was fun.
Yeah.
Had the dogs floating around in the pool. We had a good time. The pool was nice and warm,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. We had a good time. And we just chilled, and then we went to my in-laws and hung out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a chill day.
Yeah, it was chill. Just hang out in the pool, man.
So we did I'm going to try not to get too off on the tangent of the misters. So
not the sisters.
Not the sisters, the misters. So I ended up getting, I think it was Saturday, I started like a string on the back patio. And I told Venus, I'm like, I'm just going to do this right here, like proof of concept. I don't remember if it was really, really nasty hot Saturday or not. I don't think it was too bad.
I think we were over 100 all weekend.
It might have been.
Yeah.
Not shocking. But I said, I'm going to start getting this done because I was looking at Sunday like it's Father's Day. If it's going to be fucking hot, I don't want to be
Halo
like,
Day or something.
Yeah, I was going to shoot aliens in the face.
Yeah.
So I figured, well, I'll start it Saturday. I did a whole bunch of like outside shit anyway on Saturday because I was like, Sunday, I'm calling my shot.
Right.
So Venus comes out, and there was one time we were handling jacks outside. I'm like, I'm just going to do this right here because I would do this run anyway. I got it strung up, so we're talking about maybe like a 10 feet run. Strung up, proof of concept, turned it on, and it was like a noticeable drop.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. And at that point, it was just me getting the reaction of like, oh, wow, okay, this is doing the thing. Like it's working.
Right.
Okay. So I just straight up put a 90, and I continued over the major length, the eave of the back of the patio, and made it happen.
Yeah.
And then turned it on, and fucking like, yeah, when the wind starts blowing, it puts mist, fog into the patio that's all
Yeah.
just, and it's chill as shit.
That's awesome.
And I'm taking pictures. I'm like, it's fucking 100 and something out here, and 91 over here. I'm like, oh, it's
Yeah. It's
data.
huge.
The data, I trust me, the data is there.
Yeah.
It was so awesome that I had to have done that in the morning, because I took the truck up to my. So I got my proof of concept string up, super impressed. But then I ran out of tubing to do anything more with it, so I went straight to Amazon and I ordered another 75-foot length
Yeah.
to do another string, and then an elbow here in the front of the house where I get direct sun right in front of the office. I'm like, fuck, I'm out of shit. I wasn't out of misters, but I was out of tubing.
Right.
So I am on my trip about the misters. We take the truck up to my dad's, and I unload, brain dump on the misters on my dad. I'm like, Dad, trust me, get these fucking misters. Then get back in the car. We come down here, Father's Day. At some point, we went to go grocery shopping. Middle of the day, my dad shows up here because he had spent the bulk of the afternoon at my sister's for Father's Day.
Okay.
So I missed my dad in like one of those, like he must have been turning left as we were turning right kind of thing, right here at the stop sign. Missed him by 30 seconds. So the doorbell rings. We pull into the grocery shopping center, and I'm looking at the Ring footage. Good luck having any kind of surprise party for me at my house, because I check the Ring footage, bitches.
Note to self.
No, hey, fucking take notes. Ain't happening in my house. So, fuck you guys. Anyway.
Let that be a lesson.
Yeah, lessons. So Venus is like, what do you want? I'm like, take me back to the house, because, it's Father's Day. So let's see my dad for Father's Day. So I get back here, and Piper sends us a text like, Grandpa Jim's stopping by. I'm like, yeah, just hold on. And then I get another text from Piper. He's out back looking at the misters. So, all right, we pull up. I walk out back. My dad's like staring at the kind of thing. And then I brain dump again on my dad. I'm like, trust me, Dad. So I turn them on. They're super nice. He's like, well, I told your sister that you got these things. So she wants to know. And now my brother, he's telling me that my brother, who's obviously in the RV, staying up at the dad's, he's like, yeah, we were looking at Amazon. So it's like the spider things for the drills that holds the bit. Now I'm pushing out the Mr. Tech to everybody.
What's funny about that is I was talking about it to my couple friends that are in Colorado.
Yeah.
And Jen ordered a set, the same kit from Amazon.
Yeah.
And so she has was working on it the last couple of days installing her Mr. Kit on her back patio. The same kit.
Yeah. If you're on, here's the thing. It's $30. That's what I was telling my dad. It's $30. And it's not a placebo. I am telling you, like, I've got the stuff that shows. Now, is it an all-in-wonder saving your electric? Absolutely not.
No.
But today it was, I don't know.
91.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was, I don't know the peak.
Yeah.
But I kept the AC off, and I just cycled the misters on and off throughout the day for about an hour. So I have the misters that are now in front of the office, and I have two strings that are in a couple different spans in the backyard. Doors open, windows up. This temperature may be unbearable to some of you, but it held the house at 81. Now, they're telling us to conserve energy.
Right.
I don't think you want your thermostat set above 78 during the day anyway.
Right.
I'm not 100% on that, but I think that sounds about right. Until it gets after 10, and then do whatever you want. So 3 degrees more, wearing a tank top and shorts, I was fine.
Right.
I was fine. Is it hot? Well, yeah. But I did not have to goose, and it held that 81 degrees all the way up until 5. And then because I'm not going to be in the house and I didn't want Xander to overheat, I set the thermostat to 78, and then I shut everything down and turned the misters off for the last time. I saved electricity today, not having to run the AC unit,
Right.
but running the misters. Now, the drought, yeah. But I will pay less in my water bill as long as I don't leave the water faucet on filling up my pond overnight.
Or you're not filling a 5,500 gallon pool.
like I did. Hey, lad.
Yeah.
I mean, I fucked that one up. But Venus goes, the pond was overflowing this morning. And I went, what? Fuck me.
I left the
God
water
damn
on.
it. Last night at like 6 o'clock, I was like, I got to fill up the pond. And I left the pond water on. So.
Well, you know what the misters are also good for? Keeping down bugs and flies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We had dinner out back on Monday, and we had grilled some steak and like artichokes and stuff like that. So the 5 of us sitting around the table, and as soon as the food comes out, we just start getting attacked by flies, which hasn't been the norm. It's kind of unusual.
Yeah.
And I said, let's pull the table in underneath the cover a little further.
Yeah.
And I'll turn on the misters. And I think we had one problem with one fly a couple times after that.
Yeah.
But before that, it was like 5-6 flies flying like crazy around us, attacking everybody, and everyone's irritated because they're waving over the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Turn on the misters, and you got cooled off, and the flies were
I realize
minimal.
We've probably got 3 shows of us harping on this.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for something that's affordable, easily DIY for anyone of any skill set, and you're looking to make some small variant of perhaps energy conservation as we go through what's looking like another heat wave here in the Pacific Northwest, coming all next week, this is something that you may be able to add with very little effort.
Right.
You could set this thing up at a length of your choosing in 15 minutes or less. Garden hose, like 2 spritzers in front of a window, garden hose, turn it on, and you'd be done. You call your own shot. It's super easy.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Well, that's the other thing. Well, I think Dave mentioned it last time, but you can actually buy Mr. kits for an AC compressor.
Right. There's that too.
Yeah. Which basically puts water on the coils, the cooling coils, heat exchanger coils, and it makes your AC for your house more efficient because the coils cool off from evaporative cooling. The fan on the top draws air through the fins, which are now have moisture on them, and they evaporate and
transfer of energy faster because they're not working from a hotter temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating stuff. And I was telling my wife, I might just extend this line down and go around the top of because our compressor's right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. For you.
Yeah. I could put like 3 misters around the front of it and be done.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
You know what else is fascinating? Nat's dessert. Did you eat the whole thing?
Yes.
I only got 3/4, and then I started having little friends that were growing on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I ate the bulk of it.
Yeah.
No shame. I ate the bulk of that fucking 3/4 all on my own.
Yeah. Oh, I had help.
Oh, no, I don't know where everyone else went. I think it was because Venus and Piper made these like other brownies, so they were pounding on that, and so it was like, well, fuck you. I got a hookup right here.
You see this cake and pudding and
yeah. Oh my god, dude, I hit that thing so hard.
Yeah.
I'm hating
we would
my
make
waist, but
big giant bowls and then put a little whipped cream on top.
Oh.
Or the girls would put chocolate chips on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want mine the way it is because I love how it's like light and cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very refreshing with the fruit.
Pounded the shit out of it.
Oh, So delicious.
I love the pudding part.
Thanks, Nat.
Yeah,
That was
thank you.
Really awesome.
Then the other gift that Dave gave to us that you had in common with him, I think it was after the show, was that Haulover, the inlet.
Oh, yeah. The
I.
So after the show last week, we were talking about a bunch of stuff, and one of the things we were talking about was that on the show?
No,
Yeah,
it had
that
to
was
have been
after the
after.
show.
It was like guilty pleasure YouTube shit.
Yeah.
Like
The inlet. What is it called? I forget what the name of it is.
Starts with an H.
It's
something over inlet in Florida.
Yeah, and it's basically watching boats coming in and out of the harbor out to the ocean.
Right.
And some of the just crazy shit that happens as the boats come in and out of this pretty fucked up water.
Right. It's like, so if you're a person that likes
Haulover Inlet or something, haul out inlet or something like that.
I thought it was like Haulover. Or fuck it.
Haulover.
You look at it. It'll pop up as soon as you start. If you're someone that likes car crash fails or likes watch epic fails compilations or any of those things, I don't know how this has escaped my algorithm funneling, but I have not, and and that's weird because I've owned a boat, so I have been on my share of boat ramps. I have seen my share of train wrecks on boat ramps, boat shenanigans, boat stupidity, bad boat drivers, but this has never made my feed.
Okay,
and
for the record, it's called Haulover Inlet.
There you go.
And it's in Florida. And if you just do a search on Google or YouTube,
and the guys
you'll
that are,
find these videos, and
th-
it's insane.
These guys, there's like 3 or 4 content creators that I think are also like working together for some compilations that set their cameras on tripods, and they just watch people go in and out of this inlet that gets stupid size waves, people of all shenanigans of intoxication
and
levels,
all different kinds of boats.
Tons of
cigarette boats and fishing boats and like cruiser boats.
I know more boat names than fucking I knew before. Fucking no one in the house likes the Pardos because they look like weird nose things that just doesn't belong on the water.
Right.
I didn't realize how much I need and want a Sunseeker.
Some of them are gorgeous boats.
The disparity between inboards that like the cigarette boats and whatnots have versus the bulk of everyone is running outboards.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-figure configurations for a $2.3 million boat to start.
It's amazing.
The fucking 450Rs, the 300th. Man, ooh.
Yeah.
I've been binging this shit. I cannot stop watching it.
Yeah.
And then it after I got through, like, I think I've watched all there is to watch.
I've hit them all.
Then I start getting Miami boat ramp fails. And those things are fucking like just boat jerk off train wreck porn.
I love watching people fuck up their shit at a boat ramp.
I
don't know what it is. I don't have a boat. I don't have something to fucking tow a boat. But if you're going to be an asshole with something to tow a boat and you have a boat and you're fucking your boat and you're towing thing at the ramp, fucking hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, just, whew. And it's not like parking a car either, right? Because you're like, if you think you've got it, like all of a sudden if there's a stiff breeze or a current, good luck. Now you're fucking on ice and you're trying to figure this thing out. Dudes with jacked up trucks who have no idea how counter steering and trailers work. I'll fucking just back my RV down into the fucking water. Like,
the classic is you watch them like start to back down and the boat just goes
yeah,
and they like straighten it back out and they go again. Just like, what the
okay, just stop. Just stop. What do you? Oh my God! Yeah. Oh, he hit the dock.
Oh, damn.
Guys in big ass fucking yachts that have no business driving big ass yachts.
Yeah.
Just straight hitting piers and anchor and fucking tie down. Oh my God!
Have you seen any of the videos where the like Royal Caribbean cruise or the Princess cruise like takes out an entire docks of boats. Like it comes by and oh my god, dude, I love it. It is so they take out the like all of it's just like nice calm dock space with boats in their slips, and then here comes the giant cruise ship.
Really?
Oh yeah, and then everything's just like crunching together, and like boats are getting like tossed over like they're fucking, sticks just getting crushed, and then he just kind of like corrects and then goes, and it's like, dude, you just caused probably millions of dollars in damage, not to just the boats, but also the dock system itself.
Yeah.
And every slip that any boat was attached.
Miami is.
I think just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah. That's just fascinating.
Also, there was a lot of rich shit going on in Miami because some of those boats were.
Where do they get all this money?
Ludicrous.
I know.
Like ludicrous boats.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
Drugs, I'm assuming.
I would really like one of those.
I don't think I want to live in Miami. But
I'm not too hot on the really big nosed, and outboard style. But like the yachts.
Yeah,
I'm down.
I mean, this one right here. I was just looking at that.
Yeah,
I like that kind of boat.
Yeah.
Give me one of them. You know what I'm saying?
One of those.
Yeah.
Just everything's all open, big, huge. That's a giant wakeboard boat to me.
And they're not all super fucking crazy ass. Some of them are like pontoon boats with the canopy top. Or like the little tiny. They're almost like fishing tin boats. We just need to get over there.
Yeah, I got my Boston Whaler with my
submarining.
Suzuki 80.
Like, what the fuck are you? You ran, like Dave said, these fuckers are running out of talent the moment they stepped on the boat.
Right.
Like, dude, turn your shit around, your little Mercury 80 running by your hand in the back of the boat on a till. Dude, stop.
What's hilarious is like some of them do turn around, but way too late.
Yeah.
They get into the shit and they get past it and they go, oh, we fucked up. And then they turn around and come back the way they
do it again, dickheads.
And the ones that just kill me are like the ones where they submarine under
the
wave, just the whole nose of the boat.
I saw one where some fucking ass hat beta dude in like a tiki shirt, whatever. He's like on the bow of the boat holding like the rope anchor like he's taming like a wild bull. He's just a Mustang tamer. You got it. And that fucking driver just eats a wave head on. And nothing compresses that dumbass faster than
those
thousands of gallons of water like a brick wall just smack, and he crumples and tailbone smashing. Who knows?
Like a flower.
Yeah. Way to go, Gumby. Fuck. You're eating fiberglass and epoxy now. Good luck.
Oh gosh, it's so fun. I don't know how I even got onto those.
It was weird that you both knew.
Well, he's a boat guy, so I'm like,
then we're looking at it before he leaves, and he's like, no. Pull it up.
Yeah.
Pull it up. And I went, fuck, okay.
You're all annoyed.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, here we go. Hand over. He's like, this isn't even a good one. Watch this. Click this one. And then it's my eye. I saw the light.
Everyone's like this.
Oh shit!
Damn!
Oh shit! I think I told you it like made me miss having a boat.
Yeah.
Like, God, man, I miss being on the water.
Yeah.
Having a boat was fun, but not being in any of those highlights, that would not.
I don't think you want to be in those. I mean, unless you're like the guy that like does it the right way, because some of those videos are just videos of him for the day, recording the boats coming in and out.
Yeah,
they're not all like
watch
mishaps.
this guy like. Former drug boat crush all the waves like coming in and out. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's hot shit.
Some of them just do it really well, and then sometimes
some of it you just get a guy that like, I don't know, well, fucking waves. I'm gonna go out with my catch some bluegills and fucking tiller, and he's swallowing gallons of water.
Well, they're hitting waves like they're fucking ramps, and the nose of the boat's going way up, and they're like crashing down, and the people are like ejecting spines out their fucking face. You know what I mean?
Just chicks in bikinis getting fucking bounced up out of the boat. I'm like, oh fuck it, oh shit.
They're basically like a fucking skeleton with blood. It's just
bouncing skeletons out of fleshes. It's just crazy.
Sorry, honey.
Yeah.
We'll take you to Kaiser.
Yeah.
Well, there was one where it was like the guy came through and like fucked up a bunch of people and then came right back, and like 2 or 3 of them were still down.
Oh.
Remember that one? Yeah, we were watching it last.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was like he came through and like fucking slam, and then he came back and it was like 3 of the people were still down.
Oh yeah, like I've been concussed. Fuck. Oh my god. Yes. If you want fun, I mean, if you're a person that likes watching, I mean, if you like watching people blow pistons out of their motor in like dyno runs, and you, but there's more people in it and water's involved, Haulover Inlet. Haulover
Inlet.
Haulover Inlet. Holy shit. And you know, Florida probably has it coming anyway because they keep fucking shit up.
Yeah.
You'll be happy to know that there are some people that are paying for it in the Haulover Inlet.
They got enough people they can lose a few.
If you want to know how fast to lose your boating talent, just watch these people because it happens fast.
We should get Dave to take us through there a couple times just to see how he does it.
God damn. Whew.
Oh man.
Anyway, we're at time.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, that's sad.
I know.
Sad dads.
Sad dads.
All right. Well, we hope you guys had a good Father's Day. We did.
Yeah.
And don't forget to wash your face.
Wash your hands.
Wash your ass.
Return the cart.
And then wipe the cart down.
Wear the mask.
And get the shot.
And do the kindness.
And
We'll catch you next week.
Take it easy.